Hello, friends of the forest, Carats, whoever else is here. I'm doing something weird recording during the day, and I figured let's continue on our lovely 17 journey with Maestro. Um, again, I'm assuming they performed this at the concert. I'll let you know if I recognize it, but it's been a couple weeks now, so I may not remember everything. But before we jump in, I just want to say thank you for all of your engagement, your support. I really appreciate how lovely the fandom has been so far. Um, I already knew that carrots were pretty splendid compared to some other fandoms, including the ones I'm a part of. Because weirdly enough, my most viewed TikTok video ever actually has to do with 17 because I live in LA and I was on the way home from the chiropractor one day and I actually saw them recording in the street. I don't know what video that was, so if you happen to know which video was recorded here in LA in the street, I think it was either earlier this year or last year, 2024. But yeah, it's my most viewed video because I didn't know 100% that it was them at the time. So I just posted it and it was like, Carrots, are these your boys? And it was. So that was a cool experience. I only got like a quick moment because the security was like, no filming. And I'm like, okay, whatever, bro. I already got what I needed. So yeah, just a little anecdote. And I have nothing else further to say. So let us just jump in and have a ganda. Okay, a little cyberpunk energy. Don't hurt him. Yeah, stretch it out, boy. Ooh, I like this already. Thank you. Wow, cool visuals. Yes, vocals. Yes, conduct me, baby. Oh, that bass is insane. Okay. First of all, love. Production wise, as far as I recall, 17's quite involved in their production, right? I know this from Suchwita. If you like fully hate BTS and you're like, I didn't even watch the episodes with 17 members on Suchwita. For context, that is Yoongi, Suga, August D's show, where he I know had two members of 17 separately, I think, on there, and I remember them talking about production. Um, and so please feel free to fill me in on how much they're involved with production. But I already saw the like nods to it. Like I think it was Vernon had the synth pad or something. Um, but speaking of production, the rawness of that piano in the beginning, like it sounds like a real piano, first of all, not an electronic one, which I love because piano is one of the most beautiful instruments to me, despite it being very, it's a super popular. There's nothing obscure, niche about liking piano. Um, but I like it when you can hear the literal vibrations of the strings because, people forget piano is a string instrument and a percussive instrument at the same time. And I love it when you hear that in production. Same with like when you have a guitar on production and you could hear the fingers like sliding on the strings. I love that. Also, this is a little, if you're not into production, you're like, shut up, just get on with it. But there's a lot of like panning going on, and panning something I really like when I'm mixing my own songs that I'm working on. Panning, if you don't know, is basically when you move one sound from like one ear to the other, whether it's on the speakers, but it comes through most on headphones. And so I don't know, I just love those kinds of details in music because I feel like not that producers are lazy these days or anything, but a lot of times I think people like are a little shy with it. Like I love a dramatic pan. I love dramatic production and the plucking of the strings and the piano on this. I love. I love mixing classical music with pop music in general. So this type of song is right up my alley. Is my point. Also, they all look great, and I'm starting to learn names. I still don't want to say some that I'm not fully sure of, so I'm just like mouthing the names. But anyway. Oh, dancing robot. Yes. Let's fucking sing. This is fully cinematic. Yes! I love the elegance of this style of dance. Beautiful. I love his voice. This is a vibe, dude. Okay, okay, relax. Yes, correct. Same. That's how I feel right now. Just heavy breathing. Oops, did I do that? What? Is this a bridge? Or an outro? Oh, the blonde! Oh, that hair is iconic. What the fuck is this? What? Bro. Oh, it's a metronome! It's a metronome! Oh, it's a metronome! Oh my god, that is so cool. Who is the real Maestro? I mean, besides all of y'all, it could be me. It could be me. Wow, wawa weewa. Okay. So, first of all, Me Gusta. I liked that a lot. They definitely did perform that, but I don't, especially the part where they like went double time into like the EDM. That I kind of remember. Um, yeah, cool song, man. You know, I already kind of said everything that I liked about it when I paused. First of all, though, visuals are super cool. It was like watching an action movie, but it wasn't like over the top because you still had those like dance moments, really cool choreo. Of course, we got some beauty shots in there, which you know a good K-pop video requires that. So, yeah, in that sense, I thought it was a really well balanced video. But normally, like reacting, even when I really love something, I usually don't get that hyped up because I'm just. It's not that I don't know. I'm just a generally quite a calm person, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't like reaction channels where people are just like flooding the mic and screaming and jumping out of their chair, and it's a tired act, you know. And despite that, I felt excited, and you could see I enjoyed that. I can't wait for them to play that at K-pop Club Night. If they don't, I will be requesting it. Carats, worry not. Um, Also, styling, very like styling was like obviously in theme when they have these action scenes where they're like agents or something, but also like the elegance of literally being a maestro and being a conductor, and again a nod to that classical music and classical style. Yeah, that was I don't know, I really like that. I love any kind of, as I said, mainstream genres that crossover with classical. Um, I was just watching something the other day, a music analyst or someone was talking about how classical music is making such a comeback because people are drawn to that rawness, drawn to something that's genuinely organic. Yes, you could create classical music digitally, but it goes back to what I was saying about like the piano, those vibrations of the strings, the way that so many instruments involved in classical music work, like their actual functionality, how the frequency works, how they move air, how they move vibrations, can only really be captured organically. And he was saying in his analysis that because there's just so much fakeness, whether it be AI music, whether it be, the filter frenzy of everybody being filtered on social media. I mean, literal filters, whether it be even influencer culture in general, which is like, oh, it's made to look organic. This is how I wake up, and this is how I make breakfast, and I make my matcha from scratch, and all of that is curated. So, anyway, he was saying that there's such a revival in classical music and using classical music as samples or as just general backgrounds in your production. And this was a great example of that. They did it really well. It didn't feel gimmicky. The instruments sounded real, whether they were or not. Choreo, especially again during that EDM breakdown, was hard as shit, dude. Like that's okay. So I think the blonde one that I reacted to is this Woozy. Is that how you say it? He I know was on Yoongi's show on Suchuta, and I remember because people say that they kind of look alike. And that may have been why I reacted so strongly because I love Yoongi and Yoongi's beautiful and hot and sexy. Um, but I am familiar with his face. I know that he's currently enlisted. Um, but I don't know that blonde man. That blonde just looks so fly on him with the eyeliner. I was like, bro, I just love a beautiful man, and I'm not even like trying to say this in like a pervy, horny way, which I know I'm allowed to because it's K-pop and we're allowed to do that to a degree. But I just mean like fundamentally, I love a beautiful human in general, and I feel like they all looked great, and I think you all understand. So I did also look up the lyrics, and nothing too deep that I want to unravel, but I do love the idea. And I said this also in my XG reaction that one of the things that I love about K-pop, or in their case, X-pop, is that there's just more creative topics to write about than getting pussy, getting stacks, flexing about literally everything. Obviously, there's plenty of K-pop songs that flex about things, but it just has more merit to me when we know how hard idols work. Even for groups you don't like, idols work fucking hard. So when they flex, it's like it feels legitimate to me. So in this song, I like this idea of just like I'm sure there's a metaphor that I'm just missing, which is fine. Feel free to fill me in. But just in itself, I loved these nods lyrically to things like sonatas and things like the actual setup of an orchestra and these musical terms, these, original Italian terms that they threw in there. Even the name of the song itself, il maestro, parlo italiano. I just love I love songs that are about things that people normally don't write about. Like, what's cooler than a song about music? Like, that's a very cool thing, in my opinion. So, I like this idea of them conducting life, That's what I got from the lyrics. Again, there may be a metaphor, but this idea of conducting life and kind of being the maestro of your own life, being the maestro of the party, them being the maestro of the carrots, whatever metaphor you want to apply, I feel like that generally works. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in, so that I'm not skipping any lyrical value, if you will. Happy that I reacted to that. I think it was a great next step, and um, yeah, I'm just excited to continue. And thank you again for your support, Carrots. I appreciate it. Probably sooner rather than later, I'll be one of you like fully, and I'll be able to like say that. I'm just very wary about fandoms in general right now. I talked about this in my reaction to XG, but fan wars and fandom culture are just getting out of control. And I just find that in general, I don't want to associate with it. I'm more than happy to like engage with the actual artists and learn about the groups and learn about them as individuals. Um, So thankfully, you guys have represented yourselves very well. But I know every fandom has their good and bad. But it's just the shipping wars, the fan wars, the saucing energy, the online bullying, the all of it is just too much for me. Especially like I'm a mature fucking adult. I don't want to have anything to do with it. So even if I may get to like carrot level energy, I don't know if I'll ever identify. I'm already like questioning whether I should identify as an army or a blink or a once or a dive or a stay. All of the fandoms, MOA that I'm a part of, I'm just like, again, I'm just here for the music. So if you want to see my spiel on that a little bit more about my philosophy around that, you can watch it in the intro to Gala by XG, even if you don't want to watch the reaction to the song. But anyway, I won't blab too much more, and thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you, and good morrow, cousins.